All rise for the jury.
The one thing that snowflakes and fingerprints have in common is that no two are made the same. Each one has its own unique markings that make it special and stand out. Of course, the major difference is one looks pretty and melts, while the other can identify a person, sometimes more accurately than DNA. Welcome back to Justice 4. We are your hosts. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Sam. Jackie.
I think I really love confusing you the most with my intros.
Always.
I have kept this episode so top secret from both of them because I didn't want them to Google. And it's an episode I never once considered doing because I didn't know about it. Or I never thought to ask why.
Now I have a feeling, just based off of that and the photos you showed me, this is now why we do fingerprints.
Yeah.
I'm a genius.
But before we get into that, you know we love a good shameless plug.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't noticed, I am wearing a new item of our merch right here.
It's so cute.
It's so comfy. It's so warm.
Yeah.
And our tumbler that we have online, it's beautiful and it's matte.
It's nice.
It's so nice. And the top,
It's
a screw top. There's 3 different colors with black, pink, and this blue as well.
So cute.
It's always free shipping because free shipping is the best.
Period.
We also have something very exciting coming up next month.
We do.
We are going to be doing our very first live episode.
Yeah. It's going to be a hoot.
It is. October 28th, Painting with a Twist off Pirates and Constitution for the local people in Colorado. We will have the event up on our Facebook. If we have it by this episode, it'll be linked in these notes. It might not be, though. So look for it on our socials. When it does come out, we'll make sure we put it everywhere. It is a paid event for Painting with a Twist, so everything will be done through them. We're just super excited to be there and to see you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, it's going to be first come, first serve. So make sure once the tickets are available, you get them. As soon as you can.
As soon as you can, and we'll make sure that we have that posted everywhere.
Yes.
All right.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be so much fun. So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever wondered why or how fingerprints began being used in investigations?
I told you, I'm a genius. No, I don't know.
I personally have never given it much thought. That is until
No.
I was scrolling Facebook and saw one of those clickbaity weird history posts. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to lie, this one sucked me right in. And after reading the little blurb that gave almost no more information than the picture did, that made you click on it, I knew I had to dig deeper into this and figure out what was fiction and what was fact.
Okay.
It almost felt like an episode of Mythbusters researching this, similar to how I felt with like the McDonald's Hot Coffee episode.
Yeah.
So, are you ready to do some crime history myth busting?
I'm pumped to hear about this. I'm very excited. Just based off of this amount that you've given me, I need it.
Good, because like I've been so pumped about this.
Yeah.
Okay. So to start, I have to take y'all back to the early 1900s.
Period.
Specifically 1903.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
To really put you back in that time period, let me remind you what was happening. Mm-hmm. Teddy Roosevelt was president.
Oh, Teddy.
The first transatlantic radio broadcast between the East Coast and England happened.
Oh, shit.
The Department of Commerce and Labor was formed. The first teddy bear was introduced to America.
Aww.
The United States was granted the right to build the Panama Canal. The Children's March happened in Roosevelt's hometown, where adults and children filled the streets chanting, "We want to go to school, not the mines."
Aww.
Yep, so just to there was a time that you kids wanted to go to school, remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all fought for it. The very first World Series was played between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Boston Americans. They wouldn't become the Boston Red Sox until 1908. And it was actually the National League against the American League. Those were the two leagues that played the first World Series.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And last but not least, Orville Wright completed the first powered flight of a heavier-than-air aircraft known as the Wright Flyer. The flight lasted just 12 seconds, traveled 120 feet, and reached a top speed of 6.8 miles per hour. I always like to include a fact about them because it's really cool.
I'm not going to lie to you. My fat ass, you said Orville, and I was like, man, popcorn sounds great.
We are two different people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had no idea so much happened that year in the US, and that's just the major events. I had
crazy.
to like pick and choose out of the list of things that went on. There was so much more that happened.
Thank you for including a sports one in there for me.
I did.
Thank you.
Those are two. I've included 2 baseball ones, and I'm not a baseball fan. Are we proud?
I'm very proud of you. Thank you.
Our story begins in May of 1903 in Leavenworth, Kansas. By the way, I need all of you to know that until I actually Googled where Leavenworth was, I thought it was Texas, because doesn't that just sound like a Texas place? I don't know why Leavenworth just sounds Texas to me, but it's Kansas.
Because
Everybody has looked at me
I
like I'm
feel
crazy.
like- No, I was going to say Fort Worth. I'm like, that's Kansas.
Yeah, I think it's Leavenworth, Fort Worth. Oh, it's Fort
Right?
Worth is Texas.
Fort Worth is Texas.
Yeah,
What
I
am
think
I
it's-
thinking?
Thank you.
What
There's
am I
the
thinking?
connection. It's the worth for me. So Leavenworth, Fort Worth. There we go.
You're freezing.
Always.
Jesus.
Okay, so Leavenworth, Kansas, is located 25 miles northeast of Kansas City, Kansas, and Leavenworth is home to one of the oldest federal penitentiaries in the United States.
It looks really cool, though.
Will West was convicted of manslaughter and sent to Leavenworth Penitentiary to serve out his sentence. When Will arrived, the intake officer greeted him like he knew him. But Will had never been to Leavenworth, so he brushed it off as a weird coincidence. Like any other new prisoner, Will was subjected to the standard admission procedure. He had a new mugshot taken and was assigned inmate number 927. Back in 1903, the Bertillon system was used as the standard method of identifying convicts throughout Europe and the United States. Each inmate would have measurements taken of certain parts of their body, including the skull width, the left middle finger, and foot length, while also taking note of eye and hair color as well as any other identifying marks.
Okay.
Once all of this,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
So once all this was recorded, it would be all recorded on a card, and the clerk went to file Will's card. And this is where things get weird, because right where Will's card is supposed to go, there is already a card there for William West. Now, that alone isn't weird, but what is weird is that the cards are almost identical. From the pictures to the measurements, it looks to be the same person. So the clerk takes William's card out and takes it to Will and shows it to him. Will just grins in amazement and says, I quote, "That's my picture, but I don't know where you got it, for I know I have never been here before." Not surprised by his response, the clerk turned the card over, discovering William was already a prisoner at Leavenworth and currently serving a life sentence for murder since September 9th, 1901.
What?
So naturally, they went and found William to make sure that Will wasn't lying, something that was very common and a problem because back then there wasn't a common database for criminals yet. So if Will had actually escaped and then got convicted of something else for a lighter sentence and came back as the same person, but he was using a different name, like they just need to make sure that William is actually there and they're not the same person. Sure as shit, William West was there in the prison just chilling in a cell. When brought face to face, Will and William West appeared not to know each other, finding it amusing that they looked so much alike and were in the same prison for almost the same crime. Will and William's fingerprints were then taken to corroborate that they were 2 different people.
Corroborate. Sorry, I had to. Go on.
Creating the story of the first use of fingerprints in the United States to identify inmates. Except, why would taking their fingerprints prove who they were if they had nothing to compare it to?
Yeah.
And they obviously had 2 different people standing in front of them. Will could be using William's identity so that when he gets out, he doesn't have a record, but we still have 2 physical people in front of us.
Yeah.
The truth is...
And they look identical.
The truth is that Leavenworth had actually already been using fingerprinting. It just wasn't a standard yet. So it wasn't part of intake.
Okay.
A couple officers had actually attended a conference in St. Louis about fingerprinting months before this incident. And it left such an impact on them that when they came back, they decided to start fingerprinting all the current inmates and adding it to their files.
Hell yeah.
So therefore, the point of fingerprinting Will and William was to prove that William was still William and that Will was a new person.
Okay.
Yes. So that's kind of where the myth takes off.
Okay.
Is that they both got fingerprinted, but
Okay.
everyone skips over the fact that fingerprinting was already being used in this prison.
Got it.
Not much is known about Will West or his crimes. Even though the story of how the two met in prison, not much is left for the public, like public information wise. What I do know is that he served his sentence with no problems and then disappeared from public record after that.
Good for him.
Where he went
Wait,
or
for
what he did
manslaughter?
is unknown. Even his victim and the details of his crime he committed have been lost over the years. So
But
I
you
have
said it was
nothing.
manslaughter, right?
Yeah. But we have nothing else.
Yeah.
William West, on the other hand, was serving a life sentence for murder and was a more difficult inmate. He was known for fighting and causing disturbances, making him no stranger to solitary confinement. In 1916, William decided he had had enough of prison life and he escaped from Leavenworth while working as a trustee, which is basically an inmate granted special privileges.
Yeah.
William clearly is not very good at planning things, which is how he probably got the life sentence to begin with. Because he was captured the next day in Topeka, Kansas, and returned to prison. Funnily enough, they didn't fingerprint him or compare his measurements. They just compared him to his mugshot and took him back to prison.
Oh, no.
Completely not even realizing that they have one of the people that is responsible for fingerprinting.
Oh, no.
Like being widespread used. But it actually was William they picked up.
Okay.
But it's just really funny that the officers who picked him up did not do anything else but compare him to his mugshot
That's crazy.
when this entire thing had happened.
That's crazy work.
However, 3 years later, in 1919, he was released on parole.
What? Hello?
Yeah, so in 1901, he went in for a life sentence of murder, and he got out in 1919.
Brother.
While,
Okay.
while Will and William were in prison, there was a lot of speculation that they had to be twins. Or cousins, or brothers.
Yeah.
Something. They had to be related.
That was literally my very first question when you showed me pictures.
I know. I couldn't figure out how to show you those without you having to ask that question. Most sources say that both men denied knowing each other or ever meeting before prison.
Okay.
There are some reports of inmates saying the men knew they were twins and liked to act like they didn't know each other. One inmate in particular said they grew up in the same town as Will and William, and that both men knew they were twins. They were even found to have correspondence with the same family members. So, like, they each had the same uncle or they were talking to similar ones.
Okay.
Basically, I think that these two men denied ever being brothers. So, it was just twin fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it
Yeah.
was just fun for them.
In prison? Okay.
I mean, if you guys are both in prison for some,
That's fair. I
wouldn't
would
you
totally-
automatically, twin link up and start fucking with people?
100%.
I would.
100%.
Yeah.
And
So, I mean, I
guarantee,
get it.
Like, as soon as Will walked up to William and be like, I don't know this man. It was like, yep.
Yep. So it's just, and nothing is known about them after prison. Like, there is no more public record for them. There's nothing, but it's the early 1900s. Well,
I mean, hopefully they didn't murder anyone again.
hopefully.
Yikes.
Investigation in the years following believed to uncover the men grew up in the same town and had family members in common. And that's the biggest mystery in this case, is if they were twins or cousins or doppelgangers. Like, that's way bigger mystery than if they started fingerprinting.
To be fair, based off the pictures and everything else,
And they're they gotta be
the
twins.
only difference is their fucking fingerprints. They have to be twins. There's no way that they're not.
Well, there's the alternate. If their parents were twins who married twins, they could be cousins. I went to elementary school with these two
Yeah.
girls who used to tell everyone
That
that
is
they were
true.
twins because they were identical. And then, back to school night or a concert, something happened. And legitimately, we saw both sets of their parents and we were like, whoa. But
wanna
yes,
see
they were
one of them.
identical.
I want to see one of those.
And they were born a day apart and they lived next door to each other. It was really weird.
I mean, they're essentially sisters at that point.
Yeah, it's weird.
How interesting. Okay.
Yeah, isn't that just so intriguing?
interesting. Yeah.
So now that we have busted the myth of when fingerprinting first began, do you have any guesses on the first use of fingerprints to identify someone was?
Nope. Not in an appropriate way.
The earliest use of fingerprints as a form of identification dates back to the Qin Dynasty in China around 221 BC. According to the Justice Department's fingerprint source book, there's an official source book, guys. Fingerprints continued to be used throughout time across Europe and Asia to identify people and sign documents.
That's why they're so much further ahead of us.
A murder case in Argentina in 1892 is considered the first homicide to be solved with the use of a fingerprint evidence. According to the DOJ book, the country became the first to rely solely on fingerprints as a method of identification. A bloody fingerprint was found at the crime scene, and they used it to eliminate the victim and ultimately confirm the murderer. 1892.
You say Argentina?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Right? Up until this point, fingerprints were only used as an identifying mark on documents to confirm identity. They weren't being used in investigations or criminally yet. So fingerprints were definitely being used well before Will West made his appearance at Leavenworth. I just didn't know it was going to go that... Like, I forgot about using it for signing documents. I never thought about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's even movies of like the blood fingerprint. It makes sense. Didn't piece that together.
So yes, Will West and William West definitely made a memorable mark on the history of fingerprinting, but they aren't the reason for it being used in police stations and prisons across the country. It was already being implemented. It's just I think it's just a really fun thing that people saw and just ran with, and over time it just got telephoned into they're the reason.
Mm-hmm.
But it grabbed my attention.
It sure did.
So now I want to go back to something that I said at the beginning of this episode about how fingerprints are so unique that in some cases they can be more identifying than DNA.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we have touched on a little bit already in this episode. You know what I'm going to bring up? No. You've been talking about it the whole time.
Twins?
Twins.
Oh, look.
Twins have the same DNA, making it impossible to tell whose DNA was left behind at a crime scene. For example, when police arrested Donald Smith for the 2008 carjacking and murder of a preschool teacher in Gwinnett, Georgia, it seemed certain they had the right man. Smith matched witness descriptions. He seemed to appear on nearby surveillance camera footage, and there was DNA evidence apparently proving he was at the scene of the crime. Donald maintained his innocence from the start that he didn't do it, and instead offered an unusual defense. He said his identical twin brother, Ronald Smith, was to blame, according to the police report.
Donald and Ronald?
Their parents
Are you
hated them.
fucking kidding me?
When investigators followed up on Donald's claim, they discovered the fingerprints at the scene of the crime did not belong to Donald, but to his identical twin brother, Ronald. Even though identical twins share the exact same DNA, they do not share the same fingerprints.
What the fuck?
But what happens when there are no fingerprints?
They're screwed.
According to an article from the New York Post, one night in November 1999, a 26-year-old woman was raped in a parking lot in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Police officers managed to get the perpetrator's DNA from a semen sample, but it matched no one in their databases. Detectives found no fingerprints at the scene and located no witnesses. The woman who had been attacked from behind could not offer a description. It looked like the rapist would never be found. 5 years later, there was a break in the case. A man serving time for another sexual offense submitted a DNA sample with his parole application. The sample matched DNA from the rape scene. There was just one catch. The parolee had an identical twin, and standard DNA tests can't distinguish between identical twins. Prosecutors had no additional evidence to rule out one or the other. Because they couldn't press charges against either of the men, the case remains open nearly 20 years later.
What? My mind is blown. I had no idea, dude. I'm genuinely... What?
Yeah, so
Right?
twins who marry twins, their kids are technically siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because their DNA is just about identical. Just about.
That's fucking wild.
Just about. But yeah.
Just about.
Remember how she said standard DNA testing?
Yeah.
This, of course, reminded me of another case that I believe you're familiar with, Sam.
Me? Oh, no.
In 2022, 2 men in Brazil were ordered to both pay child support for a 9-year-old because a DNA test named both of them the father since they are identical twins. One of the brothers began dating a woman, and he informed her that he had a twin, but she was never introduced to him. Or so she thought. Both men maintain that the other is the father, and they both deny they used their resemblance to each other to deceive women. Both men claimed it was the other one dating her and fathered the child. This was their way to get out of paying child support. Many have speculated that the men were seeing all of these women simultaneously, and the women had no idea that it was two different men that they were seeing with and sleeping with until this happened. So, because neither one of the men would admit to the judge, and he scolded them pretty hard about there is a 9-year-old who deserves to know who her father is. We're done playing this game. But on the other hand, if the men admit to this, there's a lot of other charges that come against them for the other women.
Mm-hmm. What? What? Okay.
I was honestly surprised by the pretty even split in cases of mistaken twin identity and twins using their likeness for evil. I even stumbled upon a case in Colorado that I'm definitely going to be doing, and I'm not going to tell you guys about any of it.
Why do you hate me?
Because I like to.
You like to hate me? You bitch. Jeez.
So, yeah. This is why I wouldn't tell you anything on this, because isn't this just
I would have
so
instantly
intriguing?
I would have started Googling stuff.
I
I wouldn't have
know.
Googled them, but I would have just started. This is crazy.
And I started to go down this like crazy twin road.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it started to like, the twin thing started to go in my head.
Do you think this follows triplets and like quadruplets and shit too?
So,
Oh. Oh.
we're going to discuss more, but this is where it kind of sounds like we're at the end, but we're going to have some discussion. So, this is usually where we ask if we have justice, but like, that's not one of those cases.
Yeah.
But I want to say justice is loading for these cases. So listen.
Yep.
Listen to this. Their scientists believe they've discovered a way to distinguish identical twin DNA by analyzing both sets of DNA completely down to each individual link. This test takes over a month. We do have a test. It is in Europe in the late teens, as I've last seen it. It's in a private facility. I don't know if it's more used yet. It's probably also like some of these like genetic testings and other things where you have to have so many qualifications before they will even take the case to do it. But they've basically, what happens when the DNA is copied into identical twins, while it's being copied, there are going to be little tiny typos, as they call them. Mm-hmm. And like, we're talking like up to 10 in 3 billion pieces of DNA. Jesus. So basically what they have to do is they have to take both sets of DNA
and literally
and they have to put it through this thing. It's a month-long test, and it will go in and it analyzes every single little piece to find the little tiny discrepancies, because the markers that we hit in a standard DNA test won't even come close to what they're doing. So like, it's a very extensive test. I believe that there's one case in Europe that has been solved with it, but the article I was reading, it said that there was like at least like 3 or 4 cases that person could name that would be a good candidate for this. But like I said, there's probably a list of qualifications.
Oh, I'm sure.
To get this test.
I guarantee it costs an arm and a fucking leg to do it.
Well, it's like, was it with the Corey Richins? Mm-hmm. Was it Corey Richins or Natalie Cochran? One of the two, with the exhuming of the body, and Texas having to come in and do one of them because their lab and their scientists were the ones who could do it. And didn't they like come and get them and take them back to Texas, or like Texas came out and did it? One of the two.
I thought that was.
I think it's Natalie Cochran.
Was it Natalie?
Yeah, because Texas to West Virginia instead of Texas to Utah. Anyway, in one of them, because there are places that do things better. Mm-hmm. And we have seen, like, there's other podcasts I follow that there's certain things that, like, people have asked, well, why can't this go through this testing? Well, it doesn't, there's certain criteria you have to test something. So I'm hoping that this technology can become more widespread, more used. I'm wondering if you have to have a much larger piece of DNA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's like a size of your DNA sample that makes a big deal. Because that's like a lot of testing.
It might be the processing power of the equipment, the sensitivity of the what they need to pull out those tiny
Yeah.
pieces.
Yeah.
Like I said, there could be a lot to it, but I think it's really cool because you really have to actually search for how we could do that.
Yeah.
Everything else on a surface level is you can't tell the difference between twin DNA. But there have been a few cases that have been solved with this. I have seen a few articles like, could this be an end of being able to hide behind your twin? So, what an entire rabbit hole
Wild.
that we never have even thought about is twin.
You literally blew
Murders.
my. I had genuinely no idea that twins shared DNA.
Like that.
I don't know
only
why that
identical
I
twins.
never pieced that
Only
together.
identical
Yeah,
twins. They have
of
to
course.
be identical.
I've
Or else it
never
doesn't
pieced
work.
that together in my head ever. That's wild to me.
Do you remember about the Brazil, or is that the first time you've heard about those
That's
dads
also
in
the
Brazil?
first time I've heard
Okay,
about that.
I have been like loosely following that ever since it hit the headlines. And then let's get like really wild in this for a second. One of the things that I Googled in this case. Okay, I was born in Woodbridge, Virginia, and in 1980, the very first like twin murdery
you told
thing
me about
happened
that.
where I was born.
You mentioned that to me.
Like of all the places to pop up, it's not like Colorado Springs popping up. It's a very like
Like this.
it would be like Manitou or Old Colorado City or Fountain popping up. Like that's so that one also might be coming because
That's crazy.
that's where I was born. And that's weird.
Oh,
Yeah, so
gosh.
twins.
Bro, I'm speechless with this one. This is crazy. This is crazy. Also, I'm still mad at you, but it's fine. We can move past it.
Wasn't my snowflake comparison really good though?
That was a very good comparison, yeah. But you won't tell me anything about a Colorado Springs one.
No, I won't tell you about the Colorado one because oh no, I didn't even fully dive into it. I read one article, saw a clip of a video, and went to the side. We're just gonna
put a little pin in that. Right up there.
another fun fact that I learned researching this episode. Okay, Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, you told me about
Listen,
this
y'all,
part.
my mind was blown. Leavenworth. Machine Gun Kelly named himself after George Machine Gun Kelly. He was a prominent American gangster during the Prohibition era. All right, homeboy called himself this because he liked use of machine guns for his weapon of choice. And I just didn't know Machine Gun Kelly actually named him after somebody. I don't even know what that homeboy's real name is. I thought Kelly was somewhere in his actual name. So that's where I thought this came from. But no, original George Machine Gun Kelly. And he was at Leavenworth with Will and William West, by the way. That's how I got there. Because I saw his
She
name.
did tell me about that.
I saw his name and I'm all, no shit.
That's so funny.
It gives me a little bit more respect for Machine Gun Kelly that he didn't just name himself that. He actually named himself after somebody.
After a gangster.
Yeah. But like at least a good one too. Like, you know, like a 1900s
legitimate-
gangster, like a legit one.
A legitimate one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
I don't know
crazy.
why we had never thought of fingerprinting. We've thought of Miranda rights, we've thought of Amber Alerts, we thought, you know what I mean?
We haven't even done
The
the Miranda rights one.
That's one that you've reminded me of.
Yeah.
But fingerprints.
That's crazy.
This is how we started to use fingerprints.
Yeah.
And after so that was in May when Will and William West happened. By fall, every inmate intake had fingerprints with it. And it had already been spreading in the other prisons and the systems and stuff. So like I think it was by 1904, it was like used everywhere.
Hell yeah. Well, if they had that, what'd you call it, a convention or whatever the hell they went to in St. Louis.
Like a conference, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, it was obviously, like, happening to the point where, hey, you guys should start doing this. Here's X, Y, Z, Y. And it stuck with them so much that they're like, hell yeah, we should do this.
It really did. Those two correctional officers who came back from that really, that's what they focused. I read an article that's what they focused on. Like, they came back from that and instantly started fingerprinting all the current inmates to start that database.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, right on.
Hell yeah.
I also, I want to know what else is going on in those conferences. Like, were we using canines yet? Like, were we, learning how to lift fingerprints?
Yeah.
I should have done a little bit more research in, when we started, lifting and, going into all that science.
Well, we sure as hell weren't doing DNA yet.
No, DNA didn't come around to, the 90s.
It's still
Being able to
coming now.
test it. Collecting it was happening,
Yeah.
leading up. But we weren't actually testing DNA in, a deep way until 90s. Because remember, we didn't even have, the deep fiber and, hair follicle test for Marlene Warren in 1990. Mm-hmm. I see another educational episode coming.
Maybe.
I do. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. As soon as I grasped onto this one,
was a
I've been
good one.
so excited to bring this episode to you.
This was a really good one. That's crazy work. I am, my flabbers are
Do you have any
gasted.
questions or any other thoughts or?
I don't even know. I'm just like so shocked that first of all, I didn't realize this information. Like
Just the fact that you never thought about it before.
yeah.
Ever. And I
No.
hadn't either before I saw that.
Wait, you didn't answer my other question. What about like triplets and quadruplets and stuff? Like if they are all
If they're all identical, yes, their DNA will be the same.
That's
But I
fucking
feel like the more
wild.
times we're copying, the more mistakes we're going to have.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you get up to
there's
3 or
four.
4, you're gonna... I mean, you still have to go very deep in there to find the typos. But I feel like the DNA would get a little bit... You'd have more typos as it went
Yeah.
because now we're copying.
So, just an example, I went to high school with triplets. 2 of them were literally identical. And one of them looked kind of like just barely.
So the
the
two
two-
identical ones shared the same egg.
And the other one.
Were split from the same egg. And then the other one was just there.
Yeah. That's I am. Jeez, this is crazy. This was a good episode. I am
Mind blown,
dude.
right? I had so much fun researching this and then going into all the twin stuff too, where it's just like it's a pretty even split of like twins who use this for evil
Yeah.
and twins who are just like mistaken identity. Like, oh my god, my brother is an idiot and evil. What the heck? You know what I mean?
That's wild.
But also like I'm sorry. Did like the writers for Pretty Little Liars read about Ronald and Donald? Because I'm pretty sure that's how we got Spencer's evil twin in the end. I'm still mad about it.
Dude, how stupid was that?
It was so
was
stupid.
so
It was like,
dumb.
oh my god, we might have to end it early and now we have to panic. There was books.
There was books.
There was books. You didn't follow them, but there was books. So, I know this episode is not a normal episode,
I loved it though.
but it was really fascinating and fun, and I had fun. You had fun. I hope y'all had fun.
This was interesting. This
Yeah,
was a
super
very interesting
educational
one.
and all that. And if you have anything to add to this, if any of you guys are little, I swear, if any of y'all work at a CBI type place and haven't reached out to us already, please do. Like, I wanted to go into like crime
She's
scene
gonna threaten them.
and like criminal like stuff like that until somebody was like, it's not like CSI, it's really boring and there's a lot of late nights. And I'm all, no. So I would love to talk more about the sciencey side of it because that's like a whole passion for me. Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
Bro, no, because I can't.
I broke her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know what we're going to say. Buy some merch. It's cute. It's warm. It's snuggly. And y'all look adorable like me.
Yeah.
I'm feeling myself today.
You are. Go buy a ticket to see our live show. At
Our
Painting
live
with a
show in
Twist.
October.
gonna be
October
awesome.
28th.
Yes, it is a Tuesday. It's going to be nighttime. I don't know what time yet.
6:30.
Okay.
6:30 to 9:30, I do believe, is the class. And yeah, it's going to be so much fun. We're going to get spooky. We're going to do a fun Halloween themed episode.
Yeah.
Make some crafts. I know they have like candle making, like board and brush. They have canvas. I think they've added more stuff in there that I'm not even thinking of right
They have
now.
a lot of good stuff.
They do. So it's kind of a DIY night. You get to pick your own project.
But they still give you instructions on how to
Yes.
paint it.
And the twist is drinks. So they have alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks, whichever you would like.
What a twist.
With a twist. All right. Follow us on everything: YouTube,
Yes.
Spotify, Apple, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We have so much that we put out there in different places. Bloopers. Oh my God, we're hilarious.
We are.
Bloopers, little clips, sneak peeks. If you want to submit a case on our website, resources,
is there.
pictures, everything is out there.
Yes.
Once again, please follow us on Instagram. I'm begging you. We have 78 followers. Help.
Oh, I thought we got more.
No, just a bunch of people like that post. I promoted
Hell yeah.
wrong. I don't know. I don't know what
well.
I'm doing, guys. If you're a social media manager and you would like to lend me your thoughts for free, because this ain't doing anything yet, help.
Yeah.
Help.
Yeah. But we have great things coming up. October is going to be a super fun, spooky time. I'm very excited. She's very excited. It's going to be a good time. But we will let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. And we will catch you next week for a full other deep dive. It's going to...
Oh, it's gonna be so good. Get ready to get mad.
You're going to get hated.
Get mad.
Just tell you that now. Anyway, have a good one, you guys. We love you. We'll catch you later. Okay? We're good. Catch you guys later. Love you. Okay? Bye.